The MG Show. What real independent journalism looks like.
Smash that like for the MG Show. Subscribe now. Ring that bell. Let's go. Smash that like for the MG Show. Yeah. Let's
go. What you know you can't explain. But you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. Experience the awakening. Brilliant anonymous researchers. Patriots, join us in the Patriot Army. Trust the plan, pain coming. Boom, boom, boom. Let's go. RedStateTalkRadio.com, Brighteon.tv, Rumble.com/MG Show. The end won't be for everyone. That choice to know will be yours. Where we go one, we go all. Fight, 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 and fight we will. We fight every day right here on the MG Show. Happy Trump Day, everybody. It is the 17th of June. 8 years ago today, on 2018, it was Father's Day, and I have my thread up on X from 2018, if you guys want to go through that, of what was actually being posted and all the research that was being done on this day in 2018. Shady Grove, we've got the boss today, my friend.
Oh man, do we ever have the boss? Do we are we the luckiest generation ever on planet Earth to be in this moment and to be in this timeline? Welcome to the show, everybody. And I think that it's just an amazing moment to see the dynamic in the world, quote unquote, of conspiracy people and the way that the conspiracy people are addicted to the idea of a conspiracy, not to the truth of a conspiracy. There's a very big difference here, folks, of like who is really looking for the truth and who is looking for the next conspiracy to confuse the people so that eventually they turn you against your best interest. And that is exactly what's happening right now. The big tide is trying to turn the masses in MAGA against their best interest, turn them back to the neocon era. Yeah. And they're kind of hitting a brick wall.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the communists and the socialists, which are two wings of the same bird, right? You've got, the people that are not MAGA, right? What do we call them? The neocons. You've got the Zionists. You've got the everybody, Shady Grove, is all assets have been deployed against this president.
And isn't it interesting that the only people that you don't hear from are the silent majority? Isn't that very interesting that you don't hear the silent majority, but you hear all of these other yappers in the arena that we are in, watching what? They're trying to distract you. You know, like we've talked a number of times about the idea that Republicans and Democrats are a ping pong table, and they've got everybody watching the ball. What we are doing is we're watching the room. Okay, that's the difference. The difference between a conspiracy theorist is a person watching the ball go back and forth on the table. A conspiracy analyst, someone looking for the truth, is looking at the whole room and including all of the players, the signals that are coming to the players from the other people, the way that the players that are the players' friends are communicating with each other against other players' friends, the way that they're saying things that aren't true about one another and then about you and try to sell that to the media, and the media eats it like candy. This is very, very easy to navigate.
And it's funny. We got the Terry guy that I told you about. He found a friend, Karen, who was one of the twins that I graduated with, and she's like, "Wow, they're spewing all these lies, and I'm confronting them, and they're mad. How can you be mad when you guys don't know the truth, and then you guys are regurgitating lies back to me? I'm not going to stand it anymore, and you guys are going to be they're underneath my threads trying to convert all you guys on Facebook." And posts, but you guys are going to lose, and I'm sorry. And, Karen, I was bullied, okay? I was bullied in high school. I was bullied online. They censored me so I couldn't talk to you. Why? Because I'm wrong? Probably not.
And that person you're talking to wants you censored right now, sir.
That's right.
See, they are the violence. They are the censors. They are the people. They've been trained with hatred. Like I've said very, very often on the show, hatred is a drug. It's very, very powerful. And what it does is it causes human beings to deteriorate into an absolute, unbelievable disrepair. Let's put it that way, for lack of a better term. And what it does to you, think about that, Jeff, for just a second. The dynamic, you're bringing up a very good point. Why do they get mad? Why aren't you mad whenever they say what they say? You see, the way this goes is they say something that's not true. Jeff politely goes and offers information that is true. And instead of show you that that information is either not true or why that information isn't valid, they get angry. Boom. That's the communication you got to be looking for. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Right.
What does that mean? That means that words don't mean anything. It's your actions. Getting mad is an action. That's an emotion. Why are you getting mad at me whenever I showed you something that's clearly on paper? I'm here. I'm not mad. I'd love to see your rebuttal. But in a debate, Jeff, how would they do in a debate class in 10th grade?
They wouldn't, because you can't debate feelings. Like they have no facts to back up any of the. They have memes from that are misleading from the foreign intel agencies and domestic rogue intel agencies saying this about Trump. I go ahead and debunk it, and then they can't handle it. I'm the bad one. I just showed you point by point how you're wrong, and you still can't understand it because of your hatred for Trump. It's ridiculous.
I had somebody in one of the posts that I made about the Southern Poverty Law Center. I wasn't really on Facebook a lot until recently, but the Southern Poverty Law Center post somebody with this huge AI thing saying that it's not real. Like, so, they're able to manipulate, they're utilizing whatever AI I don't know what the hell they're using, but they're literally able to say and get AI to write 25 paragraphs about how an event that clearly happened isn't real.
Yeah. Yeah. Check this out, Shady Grove. This is what we voted for.
Hello, I'm the boss.
Oh man, I might not be able to play that, but yeah, because you can't play stuff of your president because and I'm a little pissed at Dana White and UFC. They've censored all of our videos. We can't even show you that Michelle Obama guy said that he's a man. You know what I mean? Like, why UFC? Dana, come on, give us the rights. Let's go. This is a free event at the White House that you guys put on. Thankful for that, but stop it.
I think it's Paramount, dude. I don't think Dana can do anything about it.
It's UFC. I know exactly who it is because they said it's UFC.
Wow.
Yeah.
Then that means it is him.
That's why I said it.
I got you, bro. I'm right there with you, dude. Don't you think I'm not riding side saddle?
I'm pissed. Oh, I must have hit my button over here. Or I didn't hit my button. I'm going to hit your button in a minute, Shady. You know what I'm saying?
You've already pushed one of my buttons.
I did.
Answer the question. One of yours.
Answer the question is right. So we got Mike Collins in. A happy, respected Mike Collins got in. He wins the Senate race in Georgia against a pathetic, failed Democrat Senator Os Jerkoff. Shady?
That is a quote, ladies
That
and
is a
gentlemen.
quote from President Donald J. Trump, who is a joke in D.C. Nobody even knows who he is. I'll be doing a big Trump rallies for Mike in Georgia. Wow, that's good stuff right there. And, want to go because we've got, a little bit of time. We got no time because President Trump, we're going to go ahead and go to the start. But I wanted to just show you this. I had a lot of big election wins last night. Thank you to all, President DJT. You see that, Shay? Isn't that great? At 12:42. What's post 42? 42 is we serve at the pleasure of the president, DJT.
You understand? Do you understand why he stays up for you sometimes? He stays up for you.
Well, not to mention that he's overseas and what's the time?
No, but he stays, but literally, like it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
You see, like this has happened over and over again. Like the idea that what we're doing is we are initiating a communication strategy so to keep X amount of people on track. All this stuff that's going on, guys, they've obviously, so here's what's happening, the dynamic of what's happening. Alex Jones, Megyn Kelly, Tucker Carlson crew, guess what? They hit a brick wall. It's called Q. They can't move around it. They can't do anything with it. They cannot take Q people who actually followed Q and understand that it's connected to Donald Trump. They cannot change that person into believing that Q is Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, now they're desperate. Now they recognize that Donald Trump was Q, and they recognize that the Q operation was legitimate and that it was targeting Iran, and that Iran is now suffering the consequences, and the people were told the truth. And so now they have decided to start targeting Q to undermine us because they can't target Trump consistently because they're losing every single time they make a dumb post from all of the people underneath that say, hey, please put down the crack.
Put down the crack pipes, will you?
I mean, it's just a little bit ugly.
And it's funny because, Alex Jones ran with that, ridiculous narrative about Bannon and Epstein like you just talked about, guys. And we called it. Tuesday, we called it. Well, we called it before that, in fact, as soon as Scott McMahon and Spill Tea told us the plan that they were doing.
The Dilly plan, I think.
The Dilly plan. I think it is the Dilly Stone plan.
I do too.
That's why he blocked us. Anyways,
that's why they blocked us out, and they all just jumped over to agreement on something that was completely absurd in 3 seconds.
That's right. Yeah. So choose your fighter, everybody. Let's see what your answers are. You can choose your fighter on your left, or you can choose the fighter on your right. Which one do you choose? Here we go.
Hello, I'm the boss. How are you? Good, thank you.
So everybody at the table knows he's the boss. And guess who his boss is? Us, you, we the people. Wow.
That's not AI.
That's not AI. I only see one fighter there, says Moody Magpie. Amen. All right, so let's go to President Donald Trump, and we're going to start from the beginning. It's his G7 press conference. He said it was going to start at 10:46, as he posted at 10:01, that he was going to be in 45 minutes. Instead, he started at noon on the almost on the nose. Here we go. President Donald J. Trump in full, holding the press conference at the G7. You ready, Shitty?
I'm so ready for the boss.
Let's do this. The boss. The boss.
The boss. Not the boss of Springsteen boss. The real boss.
Thank you.
That's a pretty good impression there.
A lot of press. That's good. We had a great event. This was something very special. And I want to thank President Macron and Bridget, his really lovely wife, fantastic person, for welcoming us to France for an extremely successful G7 summit. I would say it's one of the most successful. And this meeting could not have come at a better time. On Sunday, we reached an agreement with Iran that achieves everything we set out to accomplish, everything and much more. Ending the current conflict, reopening the Strait of Hormuz, and preventing Iran from ever obtaining a nuclear weapon. That's what it was all about. That was about 99%. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. They can't develop it, buy it. They can never have a nuclear weapon. At the same time, with this announcement, or close to it, as people started to think it was going to happen when Iran was making some very positive statements. The stock market has surged to record highs, picking up thousands of points over the last short period of time, thousands of points. And oil is dropping like it has never dropped before at levels that went in numbers down
Something big is about to drop.
$7, down $8. They've never seen anything like that. But if we didn't do this deal, we could have dropped more bombs for another 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 2 years. You would never have the Hormuz Strait open. You would never have success. Your market would have, instead of going up at levels that nobody's ever seen before, would go down at levels that nobody ever saw before, maybe except for 1929 or whatever. And you know, all the tough guys don't realize that this wasn't a 3-month deal. This was years in the making. You know why? Because I was the one that killed General Soleimani. And if I didn't kill General Soleimani, we probably wouldn't be talking right now about this deal, because he was a mad genius. They never were able to replace him. But a lot of people forget that. The tough guys, you know, the tough guys that would drive the country right down the tubes. The past 2 days have provided a chance to discuss the details of this historic agreement with many of our closest friends and allies, including the G7 nations and many presidents and prime ministers. As you saw, Prime Minister Modi was here. We had a long talk. He's a great guy. They are thrilled that we made a deal, every one of them. There's not one nation that came to us and said, please, sir, keep dropping bombs on them. Please keep dropping bombs. The stupid people say that. But I'm thrilled to report, and by the way, those last 2 days were brutal. $200 million worth of bombs. And, you know, it is expensive too, by the way, aside from everything else. And they knew I was coming for a third night. We informed them we're coming for a third night. They didn't have their Navy, it's sunk. They didn't have their Air Force, it's gone, not one plane. They didn't have anti-aircraft equipment, so we got free reign. They didn't have their leaders. But they have a new group of leaders that I think is, actually, I think they're smarter. I think they're very smart. I think they're far less radicalized, and I think they're really good. They love their country. You know, you talk about regime change. Nobody will say that, but I guess that's, look, their one set of leaders is all gone. Their second set of leaders is all gone. Their third set of leaders a little bit gone, but for the most part, and frankly, I think that's regime change. I think they're going to behave much differently. I think they see a different way of life that they were never exposed to. So the one thing I didn't want to see is I didn't want to see economic catastrophe. If you kept this going, that could have happened. But all I know is every time we talked about the possibility of peace, the stock market shot up like a rocket ship. It never went down. They didn't like it. The people, you know, the stock market is more brilliant than anybody there is, including the people on the stage, other than me, of course. Let's see. I don't know. What do you think?
He doesn't get a laugh in that room.
More brilliant than you?
No, sir.
Oh, that's a terrible statement. All right. The stock market is quite brilliant. And every time we said something amazing, like we're going to settle, it would go up. And every time we said something negative, like, guess what, we're not going to be able to settle, it would go down very big, Peter, right? Very, very big. Tells you something. And you know, I've studied presidents, some good, some bad, some great. Not too many are great. And some really bad. We had one just recently. And the one president I did not want to be was the late, great Herbert Hoover. I didn't want that. And who knows what would have happened. But bad things happen. So the past 2 days have provided a chance to discuss the details of the deal with the closest friends and allies, heads of countries. They were all here, a lot of them. Far more than the 7, as you know, a lot of them. And the put out a statement. I think President Macron, who did a great job, by the way, did a really fan, him and Bridget, they did a great job, but they all put out statements saying they love this deal because they want to see it over. And they love the fact that the Hormuz, don't forget, if we were going to drop bombs, let's say we went another month, another 2-3 months, maybe weeks, could be another 3 months, could be whatever. What do you have left? Got maybe nothing, but you don't have, the Strait will never be open because people that own billion-dollar ships, these ships cost $1 billion. They don't like sailing ships or having their ships participate when you go up the coast and you go through the Strait and there are rockets flying over your head. They want to protect their $1 billion investment. You wouldn't have oil for maybe years. These are stupid people. But nobody was tougher than me. Nobody hit Soleimani. You know, when I hit Soleimani, people thought that was the biggest thing to happen in the Middle East for 50 years. That was the biggest event. He was the boss of Iran and respected, but he was a mad genius. He was a genius, the father of the roadside bomb. When you see young men, and in some cases women, mostly men, walking around without legs, without arms, with a face that's been blown to smithereens, it's Soleimani, 95%, 96.2 they say or something, 95%. That was Soleimani did it. Happened to come from Iran, and I blew him up. You remember that? I blew him up in the Valley of Death. He got off his plane and we followed him, and in all fairness, because they've been wonderful to me, Israel, but they didn't want to do that attack. They were all set the night before the attack. They informed me they didn't want to do it, so I had to make a decision. I made the decision to do it. But it was a joint venture, as we say in the real estate business. That was a joint venture between Israel and us. We studied it for a month. We knew what plane he was going to be on almost a month before. He only traveled on commercial airliners, big ones with lots of people, because he knew we wouldn't shoot him down. He's very smart. But we knew he was going to be on that plane. We followed him, and then Israel informed me that they won't do it. And I had to make a decision. I had some very good generals, and not the ones you see on television, very good. And I want to thank also Pete Hegseth and General Raisin Kane, who's phenomenal. Okay, these guys are phenomenal. They can't be better.
The people's general.
But I had some good generals, and I said to him, well, if Israel's not going to do it, we're all prepared. Do we do it? Do you like doing it or not? He said, sir, if you want to do it, we can do it. How well? We'll do it just as well or better. We'll do it ourselves. We don't need anybody. So we took out Soleimani. One of the biggest events to happen in the Middle East, maybe ever, but they say 50 years, they say 100 years. I was with the Prime Minister of Pakistan. He said it's maybe the biggest event that has ever taken place. Nobody could believe it. So that's when it started. It didn't start like 3 or 4 or 5 weeks ago. And Obama wouldn't do it. What Obama did was he did the JCPOA. He loaded up a plane with $1.7 billion in green cash from banks all over Washington, Maryland, and Virginia. They were stripped of all their cash. They had no cash to do payrolls. It all went into a Boeing 757, a wonderful plane, and they flew it to Iran. And they gave it out to people. They bribed people. They thought they were going to get it done. Then they gave billions and billions of dollars after that. And they got a deal that was a road to a nuclear weapon. I get so angry, I guess. I'm allowed to get angry. When I watch the Democrats, they talk about it all the time. We had this deal done. You had a deal that was going to give them legally a nuclear weapon. And if that happened, Israel would have been blown away. And in all fairness to Bibi Netanyahu, who happens to be a good man, gets a little excited sometimes. But he happens to be a very good man. We've had an amazing partnership. He's been an amazing prime minister. We have a little dispute over Lebanon. I say, you can do a little softer touch, Bibi. You don't have to knock down a building every time somebody walks into it that's from Hezbollah. But it's been an amazing partnership. But he will say, we're the big partner, and he's the very small partner, and that's true. So he came to the country and he begged Barack Hussein Obama, the president, not to do the JCPOA. He said it could be the end of Israel, and it would have been if I didn't come along. And Obama didn't listen to him. Bibi actually went to Congress and pleaded with them, and he got nowhere. And they had this horrible deal that was horrible for Israel, and that's where it stood. And then I came along and I terminated that deal. It had very little time left. It was a short-term deal. With countries, you need hundreds of years. You don't need 8 years and 9 years. This isn't like you're signing a lease on a candy store in the corner. You need hundreds of years. This was a short-term lease. It expired long ago. Had I let it run, it expired. You wouldn't have been around. A lot of people wouldn't have been around. But Israel would have been terminated. I think the whole Middle East would have been terminated. You saw that when everybody was shocked that all these missiles, they were aimed at these different places. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, UAE. Think of it. Bahrain, Kuwait. They got hit. Nobody thought that was, even I didn't think it was going to happen. They didn't think it was going to happen. They were going to take out the entire Middle East, including Israel. And if they had a nuclear weapon, they would have used it within moments after getting it. So I made it very tough for them when I terminated the Barack Hussein Obama catastrophe. JCPOA, one of the worst deals. NAFTA might have been worse, but that was worse economically. This deal was really dangerous, what he did. He gave them everything, including a lot of money, which we don't give them, by the way, just in case you have any question. We'll be giving this out so you can read it and you can see. And it's a memorandum of understanding. If it doesn't get done in 60 days, that's all right. We go back to bombing. I don't want to do that because it's so good. But we might have to, because we're never going to let them have a nuclear weapon. But they've agreed not to, and you'll see that very clearly in the agreement. But then the second phase of that was they were building, or they were enriching material, as they say. I call it nuclear dust. They were enriching material under granite mountains. Granite being, for those not in the construction business, granite being a very strong, the strongest stone. It's not as pretty as marble, but it's much stronger. It's a lot stronger. Like the new granite I put on the stairs of the White House going to the Oval Office, the black granite, it's rated 1 million years plus. No marble's rated that. Marble's rated 100 years if it's outside. So these are granite mountains, and the B-2s came along and they hit those air shafts in the dark at 1 o'clock in the morning with no moon. They had a beam going right up everywhere. Those guys did a job, and then they were criticized by certain members of the press like CNN for possibly not doing that much damage. And it turned out that the damage was far greater. Those mountains collapsed right on top of everything. Nobody's going to get that for a long time unless we want to get it. We'll get it. But we're the only ones that can. And they say China has the equipment to get it, and we have the equipment to get it. And it's actually not valuable. Not a lot of value, but we'd like to get it psychologically, but nobody's touching it. We also have cameras. That's what Space Force is. We have the greatest military in the world, by the way. But I'm proud of Space Force because I started it. We have Space Force cameras on every single door, well, there are no doors. They've been pretty well shattered, but every area of that. If somebody walks in and he's got a badge with his name on it, like Mohammed something, which is about a 50-50 guess, Mohammed something, they can tell the name, they can give you a serial number, we can see things you wouldn't believe the quality of the stuff that we have. That's why we've been so successful. That's why our blockade will go down in the annals of history as being unbelievable. Nobody's ever seen a blockade like that. It's like a steel wall. So what happened is we then terminated that, and I call it the nuclear dust, and that was the end of that. But if we didn't hit that with the B-2 bombers, or if it wasn't successful, they would have had a nuclear weapon, a nuclear bomb at a very high level, not the highest, but it would have been a very high level. We have much bigger, but we hope that we're never going to have to use it. We have the most. Russia has second. China is very far behind, but going to catch up, unfortunately. They're catching up, but we have the most. We have the most powerful. But we also have the most, but Russia's not far behind. And then you have China in third place, but within 5 years, they'll be probably even. And we ought to make a denuclearization deal. It would be so great. We don't need all of that.
He's like a walking advertisement for America.
The whole world, 300 times
Yes,
over.
sir. That's why people hate it, I guess.
Really,
It
if we
is.
do a denuke deal, I'd love it. And one of those two is very willing to do it, I will tell you. But the other one is less willing to do it. And you need all of them. So the deal we reached with Iran on Sunday will be signed shortly, tomorrow, maybe the next day. Subject deals. My whole life is all about deals. That's all I ever did is make deals. And crazy things happen with deals. I've gone into deals where it's a guarantee. No way it can not be signed. And it doesn't get signed. And I've gone into deals that you have no chance of making, and they go like nothing. So, but we're going to most likely sign a deal. They want to sign a deal, and they've been acting very appropriately. They took a big 2 hits last week. Those were 2 very big hits. So, importantly, Iran has agreed that they will neither produce nor procure a nuclear weapon. Neither produce, because originally they said they talk about that they will not develop a nuclear weapon. And some people found it okay. These guys didn't, in all fairness. But some people, but I didn't like it. Said it won't develop. I said, what happens if they should buy? I don't know. It's very dangerous for somebody to sell, because whoever sells them a nuclear weapon will get nuked themselves. If they sold a nuclear weapon, only a few that could do it, they would be nuked. They wouldn't have that country long. So it's a very dangerous thing for somebody to do. But I wanted it in there. So it's develop, procure, buy, anything. And you'll see that when you see the agreement, but it's appropriate that we release the agreement. And we did send a copy to Israel, by the way. They've been a good partner. Again, I think they could do better with respect to Hezbollah. I'm not saying they shouldn't protect themselves. I'm saying when 2 drones are shot into the desert and drop harmlessly, you don't have to knock down buildings in Beirut. They could behave better. And frankly, they could do a better job. I love them as a partner. They were terrific. But they could do a much better job with Hezbollah. On that, I don't think they're doing well. And I feel very bad for Lebanon. Lebanon's been, it was a great culture. They had the professors, the doctors, the lawyers. It was an incredible culture, maybe the highest in the Middle East for years and years, centuries. And for the last 50, 60 years, they have been just trashed. They have been living in hell. So they'll work closely with us to turn over the so-called enriched material that's very deep in the bowels of the earth, very deep. Nobody can get it. So it's not important that we do it quickly, but we could do it fairly quickly. When we have a chance, we'll do it. But in the meantime, we have cameras on every inch of it. Nobody can do it. And if they do, we'll hit them with patriots, that's all. And they'll be gone. And they know that. Technical discussions on the removal of all stockpiles of enriched materials will begin immediately. We're going to start that immediately. And unlike Barack Hussein Obama, who sent Iran pallets of cash, and any relief they receive under this deal, they'll have to get based on merit. And it won't be from us. We don't have to give them anything. But some people may want to invest. Like, what are you going to do? Say you can never, ever invest in a country? I mean, it's pretty tough. I don't mind being tough, but it's pretty crazy. You can invest in a country. You can invest in any country you want, but you can't invest there. Well, they need investment because we did $1.5 trillion, maybe $2 trillion worth of damage. So somebody's going to have to help them out. There's no guarantee about helping them out. And could be their neighbors will help them out a little bit. I don't know. But it's a lot of money. Almost nobody has that kind of money. That's the kind of damage that was done. But we're not investing any money. There was a fake story. There was a fake news story that got a man, a person, a good person. JD made a statement. It was a perfect statement. And they reported it in a very strange way, but that's why it's fake news, I guess. So we don't give them money. We don't give them any of that. And what happens is with time, if they behave, if they be a citizen of the world, a reasonable citizen of the world. And I think this group, again, I didn't do this for regime change, but I think this group is regime change. I mean, hey, the first group is dead. One little morning, having breakfast, the whole group, they thought they'd never be caught because we never bombed during breakfast, but we bombed, and they all, 88 people, and I'm not proud of that at all, but the second group came in and they were very unreasonable too, and they were all gone. They were all gone. And then the third group, we've been dealing with them. Couple left this planet, but we've been dealing with them. And again, they've been fine. I mean, I've had a lot easier. I've had some easier ones. They're tough, they're smart. Maritime traffic through the Strait of Hormuz has already increased very substantially, and the normal flow of energy will resume in the coming days, and trillions of dollars will be made by the world, and the stock market will, I believe, continue to rise. The only difference is that a player that's very volatile, very tough, very smart, frankly, they have, in one way, a primitive culture, but it's also a genius primitive culture. They're very smart people, very good negotiators, but so are we. So rather than possibly going into a depression, rather than having your favorite president be Herbert Hoover, I was always the one I didn't want to be. I wouldn't have preferred Nixon. I wouldn't have preferred, there are plenty I wouldn't prefer, but the one I always thought of, Herbert Hoover, and he caused it. He raised taxes too fast, and he raised interest rates too fast, all at the same time. And it caused the Great Depression. So I don't think I'll make mistakes like that. I lower taxes, I don't raise taxes. In fact, we just gave you the largest tax decrease, largest tax cut in the history of our country. So we'll be working on a parallel effort with the Gulf nations to address non-nuclear issues such as the conventional ballistic missiles, which we'll be talking about, and support. I mean, they have to have some because other people have some. You got to have some. Somebody said, you shouldn't give them one. And I have guys, I like some of these guys, but I don't think they're smart. Sir, you shouldn't let them have any missile. I said, well, what am I going to do? Am I going to let Saudi Arabia have missiles, but they can't have them? Yes, sir. It doesn't work that way, It doesn't work that way. And missiles aren't the problem. Missiles they hurt a little location, but they don't blow up the planet. So the Gulf nations will address the non-nuclear issues. As we'll be talking about the ballistic missiles, and we'll talk also about the terrorist proxies that they have, that we don't want that to happen. But I want to thank our partners in both Pakistan and Qatar. These people work so hard. And they knew them a little bit. In the case of Pakistan, quite well. In the case of Qatar, they were sort of at odds. And Qatar was great because they had right next door. When I flew from there, from that location to Saudi Arabia, I'd fly for 40 minutes, and I'd fly to UAE for 40 minutes, to great leaders there, by the way. In the case of Saudi Arabia, the father's still alive, and he's fantastic, and the son is going to be great. He's going to be great. The Crown Prince and Mohammed at UAE is an incredible warrior. He was dropping bombs. Last week I said, who the hell's dropping all those bombs? It was UAE. He's a good fighter, Mohammed. But every administration for decades has sought to get Iran to relinquish its nuclear ambitions, but the threat only got bigger. The words got bigger and bigger and stronger and bigger, and nothing ever happened. And Iran got stronger and tougher. If we didn't blow them up the first time and then blow out those weapons, they would have been unstoppable. This should have done, what I'm doing and what I did, should have been done years ago. Would have been much easier, much less firepower. But it wasn't. And again, I want to thank all those countries, and I want to thank Israel and Bibi Netanyahu. So obviously the breakthrough would not have been possible without the unprecedented pressure the United States put on the regime over the past year and a half. But again, it started a long time ago. It started with the death of Soleimani. That was a big deal. No president in history has ever been tougher on Iran than I have, and they know that. And by the way, if they don't honor the agreement, or some things aren't even mentioned in the agreement, it's a memorandum of understanding, but we have an understanding of certain things without writing it. And if they don't honor that, we'll probably go back to bombing them until they honor it, you know? It's amazing what bombs can do. So I say it, the Obama deal was a road to a nuclear weapon, and let's call it the Trump deal, was a wall for a nuclear weapon that the nuclear weapon could not get through. Nobody's going to get through it. We built a wall. They weren't going to have it, and that's what we have right now. And it says very clearly, the most important clause to me, too, number one, the Strait opens, but that's much less important than the other clause. Clause number whatever, 5, 8, is a very strong statement that they will never have a nuclear weapon. And it doesn't say they'll have one in 5 years or 10 years or 20 years. With Obama, they were able to enrich very quickly. This agreement now provides Iran with a historic opportunity. If they follow the path of cooperation, will have opened for them, their country will have a chance to survive. Now think of it, you know, they have 91 million people. People want me to bomb the bridges. Why don't I bomb? I already did, because, you know, they went back on one of their promises and I bombed their biggest bridge, the equivalent of that was the George Washington Bridge of Iran. But we bombed that bridge, you saw that. One quick strike by an F-22, the most beautiful fighter jet ever made, by the way. In fact, we're ordering some more of them. We're bringing it out because it's so effective. It's incredible. It's incredible. Well, look, we have the greatest military in the world. Those B-2 bombers are unbelievable. Who would have thought they could handle, each had 2 because the flight was so long, but they handled 3 of the biggest, heaviest bombs, hundreds of thousands of pounds, and they handle them like they're nothing. It's amazing. And also, they're undetectable. They flew into Iran, totally, think of it, totally undetected. Now, Iran's waiting for them. They're waiting for them. And they never saw them. 1 o'clock in the morning, they never saw them. They're stealth. And we just ordered 22 more. The newer, upgraded version, which I guess is better. I don't know how the hell you get better. But as I expressed to the world leaders here this week, it's my hope that the peace agreement will be the beginning of a much larger deal all across the Middle East. We're very close. Look at the job we've done on Gaza. Look at Hamas. Hamas has been very silent. You haven't read anything about Hamas. And we're trying to get them unarmed. You know, they grew up with a machine gun in their hand. I think they actually, when they were born, they came out with a machine gun in their hand. So it's not the easiest thing, but they've actually, you know, behaved pretty well, considering this was not the lifestyle that they were taught to have. But including an end to all Iranian aggression, they're not going to be Iranian aggression, and an end to war and terror in Lebanon. So the Lebanon peace is something we'll have to work on a little bit. It's a very small piece of the puzzle, actually, but it still makes a lot of noise. The big deal is the Iran deal. That's where the money is, where the power was. But they have Hezbollah, and we got to get that done one way or the other. We'll do it. I think Israel can do a much better job on it. Syria would love to do it. I was very responsible for the gentleman at Syria that's now the president of Syria. He's done a tremendous job. He's put that country together in a year and a half. Sort of like our country, a year and a half. It's pretty similar size. They said, please don't put him there. He's a very violent man. Al-Qaeda. I said, well, I know one thing, a Boy Scout's not going to work. And he's actually done a very good job. He'd love to go in, and, you know, Hezbollah is an enemy of his, and he'd go in, but he wouldn't knock down buildings every time he hears there's somebody. He'd just go and get them with precision. But I don't know that people want that. Maybe they don't. Maybe Lebanon doesn't. We have to be guided a little bit by Lebanon. And by the way, the president is going to be coming, Prime Minister, President, going to be coming over to see us very shortly, over the next week or two. Good man. He's, you know, man is living. What a tough life he's got, because he's got tough groups of people. And it's amazing. Amazing there is a Lebanon with all they've been through. They have been treated worse than just about I think anybody, disrespected incredibly. So the expansion of the Abraham Accords is the other thing that we hope we're going to get. And I think Saudi Arabia, if they lead the way, they'd be doing themselves a big favor, because everybody that's in it, UAE went in right from the beginning. Again, he's a warrior. And they never got out. Nobody ever got out. You think maybe during the war. They were all afraid of, everybody was afraid of Iran. And that's why we ended up with the original members. But then when the election was rigged, that's right, and I wasn't here at all, nobody cared about anything. The country went to hell in every way. That was the least of it. Middle East was the least of it. The country went to hell, allowing 25 million people into the country, unchecked and unvetted, many of them criminals, many of them murderers, 11,888 murderers allowed into our country. So this was the least of it. But the past 2 days have also provided an opportunity to discuss a number of other key issues with members of the G7 and our partners. Yesterday morning, we had a productive conversation on the war in Ukraine. I spoke with President Putin. I spoke with President Zelensky, and he was there. And President Putin I spoke over the phone with. And something's going to happen. They're losing a lot of people, a lot of soldiers are losing soldiers. Both are losing a lot. Russia's losing more because they're the offensive ones. And when you're offensive in war, you lose more. Pretty simple. But I provided an update on my call Sunday with President Putin and expressed my continued hope. We had a very good conversation with President Putin and a very, very good conversation with President Zelensky. I think they both want to do something. They just don't know how to do it. They want to do it, they just don't know how. In our session yesterday afternoon on international partnerships, I offered an update on how the United States is leading the world in responding to the Ebola outbreak in Africa, sending $375 million in aid so far to help stop and contain the crisis at its source, and we've done great. I was with the president of, a couple of presidents came over, by the way, from African nations, and they were so happy with what we did. But where it's unfair is we gave $375 million. The rest of the world gave essentially nothing, maybe a couple of bucks, but nothing. And they were all saying, thank you so much. And I think they've done a good job. It's a terrible thing. Ebola is a terrible thing. That's an unbelievable one. Fortunately, it's not like COVID where it's that easy to spread around, but it's rough. And we've done a good job. We've moved people to certain quarantine, certain locations. But today we also had excellent meetings on the economy and artificial intelligence, which is amazing what's going on with that. It's going to be the biggest thing ever. We have to be very careful with it. It's both great and could be bad. We have to be careful with it. But we're leading China, we're leading the world on that. We're allowing them to do their own electric plants because they need, as an example, those buildings are so big, and they're not taking the community's electricity. I gave them the right, it's my idea, I gave them the right to build electric plants like Con Edison in New York. Dig we must. And they've come up with plants that nobody's ever seen anything like them. Those are by very high IQ people. So they're actually building electric plants. So, because otherwise they could never build a building because the grid is old and tired and broken and a mess. So
you know why, right, guys? You guys all know why that they're really mad at President Trump allowing regular businesses to do their own power plant. You know why, Shady, right?
I think that this audience knows why.
Because the bloodlines have controlled it for many, many years. Shady, go ahead.
Nope, that's exactly right. And and the way that the way society evolved was that you had to have a steamship company to have a power company. Okay, and so then think about that, like the way that they were engineering the families only having the resources to be able to generate power, so that all the people in America that made the power were under the puppet string. Yeah. So right now, Donald Trump has taken away that aspect of society and unleashed energy production and allowing people to produce energy right where they are instead of jump through all of the hoops that were initiated by these families 120 years ago to make sure that no one ever got power, that the paysour didn't get their cut.
And you know, it was interesting. He said the power grid is old. It's 100 years old. Why is that, guys? You know why.
He's telling us so much about everything. Meanwhile, Epstein and Bannon were Q.
Yep. With that, I'm going to go ahead and read this because we hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part that most people miss, guys. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your own money. And after the financial crisis in 2008, Bitcoin was designated and designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting access, you are in control. And if you ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you felt that problem. Now fast forward to today. Everyone's heard of crypto, but getting it and getting started feels so dang complicated. That's why I use the Rumble wallet. It takes all that complexity and makes it very simple. Choose what you want. Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, even digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay. And so you can use basically your credit card, your debit card, or your bank account, and you're up and running in just minutes, guys. Once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like us directly. So do this now. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description. Download Rumble Wallet, and from there you can set up your wallet and tap buy, and you're in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some.
Aha! Thank you so much.
Thank you, Rumble Wallet. We appreciate you guys. So, you know, we're looking at all this. We're going to continue this, but, you know, Shady, for him to stand up at the G7 and give you this press conference the guy's been working. He left in the middle of the night after his birthday, Shady Groove, to go over to. He's been working. He's had, 3 other bilateral meetings since we've been on the air yesterday. The guy is nonstop. Meanwhile, JD, the nonstop VP, going out on all of the different platforms, even like Megyn Kelly, The View, The Five, Greg Gutfeld, CBS This Morning. I mean, he's everywhere right now, guys.
So the main thing that I am really wanting to point out to all of you about what we are seeing right now is how we're reorganizing. You know, they say that it's a new world order. Well, I say it's a new MAGA order because that's what's actually happening. We have organized the world around MAGA and the silent majority. And Donald Trump is very, very excited to come to a microphone and explain to the world exactly what's going on. This is the dynamic. Have you been noticing all these videos of people that have come here for the World Cup? Have you been paying attention to all the love, the heart-swelling love that these people are giving your society? They have been sold a bill of goods that is not true. And so guess what's going to start happening? All these people that just came to America that have been being sold a bag of lies are going to go home, and they're going to be like, wait a minute, this news media is telling me a bunch of stuff about Orange Man bad. Well, there's the same people that told me stuff about America bad. So I've got to do some thinking. Maybe I'll go listen with my own ear to what Donald Trump is saying. Maybe he's not the crazy orange guy that I was told that he was. And then Donald Trump is going to oblige them. He's going to stand there and he's going to articulate to you top to bottom exactly what's going on so that you're not confused. And then you get to watch the media see that and go get confused on purpose and light everybody's hair on fire.
So
true. Like, it's pretty amazing if you break it down like that.
It's so true. It really is. All right, so let me go ahead and, we got 2 minutes to the top of the hour. Let me just go ahead and play the 2 minutes. We'll take a quick break at 1 o'clock at the top of the hour, and we'll come back and finish this off. I mean, this is amazing, guys. This is history being made in front of your eyes. You're part of history.
And he's the greatest part is he's forcing all of those elitists in that room to sit there and choke it down. They got to swallow it. They can't ignore it. They can't run away. He's got to pin down, and you're stuck with it.
That's right. That's
little dose of America.
Little dose. Let's see. Let's let him finish off his thought process here, and then we're going to go to break, and we'll be right back. But just here we go.
Building it, and they're going to sell their very cheaply. They're going to sell their extra electricity into the grid. So we take care of a lot of things like.
Now, you have to understand, too, that the anti-data center, AI data center, is being funded by Cuba, the Democrat Socialists, and China, okay? We need that prowess here, period, Shady. So he's trying to tell you that it's not going to take up your power. In fact, they're going to sell back the power. They're not going to use the water. They're making chips that won't need all that water. You know, guys, you're going to have no excuses soon. Your excuses that you're using right now are going to be all like a rug pull, gone.
You're acting like the media selling me Chinese talking points.
I am telling you that they are selling you Chinese talking points, Shady Grove.
I'm picking up what you're putting down there, bud.
Absolutely, 100% correct. These people are lying to you, okay? They're lying to you. They don't want America to win. They are just itching to write a story that Iran won, Shady Grove.
They absolutely are. They're coming
earlier.
Yep.
Yeah. And you said that earlier. And with that, guys, we will be right back after these beautiful boom messages.
Answer the question.
All of you beautiful patriots out there.
First of all, let me just thank you all for supporting this show. We wouldn't be here without you. But I have a huge announcement regarding donations.
It has come to our attention that using the Rumble app is taking an additional 30% of your donation to the show.
Let me explain. According to our TOS, Rumble takes 20% of all donations made through the web browser.
And that's at 20%. It's a good deal if you consider other platforms like YouTube and such.
There is a hidden cost that we just found out. For example, we received the generous $500 donation from Spill Tea, and thank you so much for that, from the Rumble app on Apple. So Rumble took 20%, and Apple took an additional 30%. We brought that to Rumble, and they said, well, Rumble's take of tips and donations is 20%. That's if the transaction is done through the web browser. If using the Android or iOS app, it's an additional 30% collected by those platforms.
So please use the web browser to make your donations to the show and avoid the hidden fees by Apple and Android.
That's right. You can also support us at GiveSendGo/HelpMGShow, mg.show/donate. We have PayPal and Cash App. Both are at RealMGShow or $RealMGShow. Please help us out. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, it's Jeffrey Peterson and Shannon Townsend with the MG Show. We are under relentless attack by the mainstream media. They've got our PayPal, our Patreon, our YouTube, our everything, you name it. We are under attack. We need your help.
Our request is for you to get involved and support independent patriot journalism here in this critical battle that we are in for America. Please jump on over and support us right here on Give, Send, Go.
The MG Show, where psyops go to die.
For the first time ever, we're bringing you My Pillow mattresses and mattress toppers for as low as $99.98. Remember, sleep's all about temperature and pressure points. Whatever sleep needs you have, we have the right technology for you. Like our My Pillow mattress topper, our queen size has over 10,000 individual comfort supports to help relieve your pressure points. And how about our 3-inch Hybrid Plus mattress topper? It's infused with copper and silver to help your body get the restorative sleep it needs. And our My Pillow and Case Coil mattresses, I personally helped develop these mattresses to make sure they have everything needed to give us great sleep. Plus, they're made right here in the USA, and they ship right to your front door, absolutely free. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to get My Pillow mattresses and toppers for as low as $99.98 and free shipping.
Ladies and gentlemen, yes, it's true. You heard correctly. This summer, the Q Lounge Live returns to the airwaves every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Hello, I'm your host, Shannon Townsend, a.k.a. Shady Groove, and we've got a lot to talk about. We're going to be taking your calls. We are going to be following your wonderful president. We are going to be standing in the gap. We are going to go places where the conspiracy theorists tell you that you're not allowed to go. We are going to to uncover the truth and follow along as Donald Trump has his way with all of these people that he stood up a long time ago and told us that he was going to. Well, it's happening, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening every single day, and we're going to keep you updated with a weekly show. Get ready, get your friends, show up. That's right, Tuesday night, 9 p.m. on the East Coast, 6 p.m. on the West Coast. Join me there right here on the MG Show channel on Rumble. God bless you and God bless America.
Smash that like for the MG Show. Subscribe now. Ring that bell. Let's go. Smash that like for the MG Show. Yeah. Let's go. In a world of shadows. In a world of shadows where the lies take hold, in the matrix and shady groove, sharp and true. With the MG Show, they cut through the haze. Truth is their weapon.
What's up, MG fam? Y'all ready for some MG music? Make some noise! Yeah, we hear you. Let's go, Shannon!
Started out with a mic in the Q Lounge live, just a voice in the void bringing the dark to light. No big money backing, didn't know where it would go. Just a stubborn heart and face for radio. We were running on faith and a couple of bucks. Old gear humming, held together by love. Didn't know if anybody was listening through, till the chat lit up and we heard from you. Every show, every dollar, every word you sent turned a dream into something truly heaven sent. We wouldn't be here without you. Every mile, every breakthrough, from the late night replays to the midday live, you kept this fire alive. No dark money shadows, no hidden point of view. Just truth on the airwaves, thanks to you. Yeah, this voice you hear ringing through.
There's Shady's guitar, huh?
Without you, yeah. You're the reason the lights stay on in this place. Every name, every story, every face. From a $5 bill to a note that said, keep fighting the fight, don't you hang your head. You believe when the world said let it go. When the numbers got tight and the views got low, you stood your ground, you carried us through. Now every word we say's got a piece of you. It's not just a show, it's a family strong, and you've been the heartbeat all along. We wouldn't be here without you. Every mile, every breakthrough, from the late night replays to the midday live, you kept this fire alive. No dark money shadows, no hidden point of view. Just truth on the airwaves, thanks to you. Yeah, this voice you hear ringing through wouldn't be here without you. No suits in a back room calling the shots. No billion-dollar deals, just giving what you got. It's freedom you're funding, it's truth you defend. More than listeners, your family, your friends. Yeah, every penny, every prayer, every time you said we care, you kept us standing tall. You're the reason for it all. We wouldn't be here without you. Every mile, every breakthrough, through the static and the noise, you made it clear. While we're still right here, no dark money shadows, just a faithful few. Turn a small town voice into something wouldn't be here without you.
I love that song. Because it's true, guys. We would not be here without you, Shady Groove and the Matrix. What's our names? Jeffrey Peterson and Shannon Townsend here because of you. God bless you all.
God bless each and every one of you. Thank you so much for being here. And again, I will say it. Thank you for caring about the truth, because at the end of the day, that is the bond that we all share, is that we're looking for the truth, and less than will not satisfy. And whenever you discover something that undermines something that you already thought, you're able to move away. You don't have an emotional attachment to the thing that you thought was true when you find out something else was true. That's what we're supposed to do. We're not supposed to get stuck on narratives. Look at the way the media is functioning against you in both arenas, whether left or right. It doesn't matter. They're trying to kettle you into this thought form. They're trying to like say, because of X, then Y, and then this, and then that. And then they drag it on and on and on. And then the next thing you know, your brain is twisted like a pretzel. It's very, very simple. Think about your best interest. Think about what would I do if I were in that situation, and then go look to see what the president is doing. The example that he's setting is unbelievable. Look at what we're showing you every day. Are we having to struggle to find like what's interesting? Are you interested in what the president is saying? Why is all the other media turning off his press conferences? Why do all the other media stop what he's saying so that they can say something else? Why is it always edited at these specific points so that specific things that he says that are true don't make the airwaves? That's the reason this man is standing there, and he's taking to these people and he's beating them with one hand tied behind his back. And literally there's not a single person, there's not a single person that is even striking at him.
I mean, this is what I elected, guys. I wanted somebody to get stuff done.
You also wanted somebody that was strong and could handle strong criticism and not just buckle under a little bit of, yes, exactly.
Yeah, cojones. For lack of a better term.
Very polished.
A warrior spirit. Amen. And that's what you guys all are. You guys are warrior spirits. You guys have, been through it with us, right? We've been through the psychological operations. We've picked apart every single one and proved that they were psyops. Because this show, that's what we do. We expose the psychological operations against us, you, Trump, Q, all of it, guys, and it's all a psyop. Why would they have to censor this show, my Twitter account, you, if we were not over the target?
Yeah, if we were out there, Jeff, and we were gladly perpetuating the narrative of Epstein, why were we getting censored?
Yeah.
Think about that. I just want to put that out there to you. If we were out there and we were puppeting the narrative of Epstein and Bannon, why did the media censor us? The media agreed with Epstein. You can read his emails. He didn't find a single media orifice that he didn't agree with. So every single outlet he completely put out all of this different stuff. And you're going to tell me that Jeffrey Epstein was dropping the Q. Jeffrey Epstein knew whenever Donald Trump was about to tweet. Jeffrey Epstein knew that when Donald Trump was flying over North Korea. Jeffrey Epstein was the one that was like behind the scenes whenever Donald Trump was meeting with Kim Jong-un in North Korea or in Singapore. Think about that for a second. Think about the absolute nonsense that they're trying to pour down your throat, and take a breath, share with your friends. This show is what it is you need to share with your friends that are addicted to InfoWars. If they try to watch us and they can't, that means that they are brainwashed, just like a Democrat.
Brainwashed or part of them.
Therefore, they are already have pre-decided. Yes, sir.
Boom. Exactly right. All right, let's go back to President Trump. He's going to do questions soon. It's going to be fun. Oh, my God.
We're here for every second of it.
This is your president, President Donald J. Trump at the G7 in France. Wow.
Speaking for you and me.
Us. Yeah, uses.
The uses.
The uses and the uses.
Uses and the meses.
Here we go.
California, which doesn't have nearly enough electricity.
City
I
of
don't know
Compton.
what they're doing there. And instead of having blackouts and brownouts, they'll be able not to. We found a great deal of unity here at the G7, and we signed a declaration on illegal immigration, the first time ever for a G7 statement. They did a beautiful statement. We signed other agreements to step up and to really coordinate and spend a lot of time coordinating drug trafficking and the stopping of drug trafficking, which is crazy. It comes through Mexico, comes through the southern border, the little that comes through. They find a way, they put it, they're genius. If they would use that genius for good, they'd be very rich people. They have it in engines, they have it in hubcaps, they have it in areas you wouldn't even believe. They have it in the structures of cars.
Hey, I'm going to have to jump in here, Jeff.
But we've done a great job on it.
Before we move past it, I can't just let this go. Hopefully this works. Here you go. What is he talking about? The G7 summit said something other than immigrants belong every single place immigrants go. Interesting. During the G7 summit, leaders adopted the Leaders' Declaration on Tackling Migrant Smuggling. Okay, when does G7 ever talk about dismantling criminal networks to direct a mandate to disrupt the business models of transnational smuggling syndicates? Wait a minute. Now, in my experience, the G7 has been about organizing criminal networks, financial tracking to adopt and follow the money. Have I heard that?
Wow.
That sounds a little familiar. I'm not sure. We're going to look into that, see if we can find someplace where we've heard it. Yeah. Approach to freezing assets and utilize financial intelligence and leverage sanctions against smuggling operator. Operator? Am I an operator, Alex? Who's an operator? Online collaboration, partnering with social media and technology platforms like AI probably to prevent criminal networks from advertising dangerous smuggling operations online. Safe and lawful return, enhancing process to ensure the timely, dignified, and lawful return of foreign. This is announced by the G7?
Yeah,
and nobody's picking up on this?
I hate to interrupt you.
Okay.
But the EU passed it. Check it out, Shady Groove.
Wow.
So they are clapping in the EU because the European Union has just passed a measure to surge mass deportations across the region. It's officially law in the EU.
Dude, I'm flabbergasted right now in this moment. Like this is it's a kerfluffle. This is a 180-degree turn from every.
Yeah.
Like, guys, this has been our whole lives.
We're always wrong.
Ever since you were a child, this G7, G8, G20, get the hell out of here. What the hell have been meeting to tell you that migrants are your strength, Jeff? They tell us diversity is our strength. And now that was the New World Order's message, but the MAGA World Order.
So no DEI countries anymore.
No, it seems like the DEI is going to go back to the DE where the hell ever you came from.
Wow, guys. Wow.
How's this not the best timeline?
I love it.
All these people screaming at, the Owen Schroyers of the world with their garage door halfway open out there screaming into the void of Tucker Carlson, like posting on Facebook. Thank you. Perfect. Thank you. He's getting good at that, isn't he, guys?
Yeah. All right. Back to our president, President Donald J. Trump, who leads the way. He is the boss. You see it now. He just announced it. They already passed it in the EU. Guys, get ready to get your migrants the F out, guys.
Yeah, and tip Jeff for the perfection of his Tucker Carlson. It's a brilliant.
There we go.
We have.
He's working hard.
Drugs coming through the border are down 61%. Drugs coming through water, the sea, ocean, sea, Gulf, down 97.2%. That's the ones that get hit. Just like we hit the Iranian minesweepers and mine droppers, they call them. They dropped. Who would have 28 mine droppers? Who has 28 mine droppers? They actually had them, but they don't have them anymore. We hit them just like we hit the drug dealers. But drugs are down by water 97%. and over 60% they're down, and now we're going to go and focus on the land. They come through Mexico. Mexico has lost control of their country. The cartels run Mexico, and it's sad. And the president's a very good woman, but she's a very scared woman. The drug cartels are totally running Mexico. It's not even close. We agreed to accelerate our efforts to secure our critical minerals and rare earth supply chains, where we have great companies really going to town. We're going to give everybody a big run because we do it better and we had to get motivated. The G7 also agreed that the United States' new approach to international development based on the private sector investment is working at levels that they never thought possible. It's really working. I held a number of very positive bilateral meetings, including with the President of France. It was a very good meeting, actually. The Emir of Qatar, Sheikh Tamim. I tell you, I wish I could really know the guy. You know, some people say, well, he lived in that neighborhood. You can't be saying things that you'd like to have him say. He was fantastic on this, and he's been a fantastic guy in terms of energy and getting energy out there. President of the United Arab Emirates, Mohammed bin Zayed, who's an amazing warrior. President El-Sisi of Egypt.
El-Sisi.
Prime Minister Modi of India. We spent a long time together today. I spoke to Mohammed. I spoke to the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia a number of times. They're all so happy that they're still, you have to have them happy too, you know. We're using their airports. Not that they could stop us if we didn't want them to, but it'd be nice that I went to get that little sucker. But I missed. I hate missing. But we spoke to all of them and many countries all over the world. So every country, I think Israel too. Look, think of what Israel's getting. They're not going to be nuked. It's very simple. I told Bibi, your biggest risk was that they'd drop a nuclear weapon into the middle of Israel. They'd only need one, and there would be no more Israel. Think of it, baby. You got the best, the most important thing that you were asking for is that. So I think they're happy. Some people are.
He didn't really think you were going to do it.
Not him, but there's some people, some writers, some that I thought were friends of mine, but I don't want them as friends anymore because they're either stupid or they're bad people. But
we kind of just said the same thing, didn't we?
I was getting ready to say, I think he's summing up our conversation, but it's okay. We can agree to agree.
Wow.
We stopped nuclear holocaust, and it stopped too. I mean, there's not going to be any of that. So from the beginning to the end, it was clear that this week, America's back. It's bigger and better and stronger. We're more respected as a country right now, I think, than we ever have been. And we were a laughingstock 2 years ago. They would laugh at us. We had a man that should have never been there. You know that. A man that would walk up to a podium once every year, and they'd ask him, what flavor ice cream do you like? I like vanilla. Then he'd try and find the stairs, which he couldn't find most of the time, and he'd leave. This is very unfair reporting. And then you said you didn't know about that. You didn't know there was something wrong. We can never let that happen to our country again. To me, the worst. We had the worst inflation ever. We had the worst in prices and the costs. It's all coming down now because the oil is bringing it down. You're going to see numbers that are going to be amazing. But this evening, I look forward to a very special dinner with President Macron and his fabulous wife at the Palace of Versailles. I sort of like that palace. Has a lot of gold. I want to check it out. It's a beautiful palace, maybe the most beautiful of all. I hope you're going to get to see it. The ones that are traveling with me, I hope you're going to get to see it because it's amazing. But they asked me if I'd stay a little bit longer and go to Paris. So I'll get home a little bit later, but it'll be a nice dinner. But I'm interested to see it. That's the ultimate, I guess. It's the ultimate of its type. Louis XIV. Celebrating the 250th anniversary of America's founding.
Removing his secret power.
We're celebrating that a little bit tonight. They'll have the biggest people in Europe at the
because Versailles is where they held captive the nobles to take their money.
Yes, sir. It's also where the church organized all of their operations from way back whenever they were trying to tell you that the earth was flat and that the earth was the center of the solar system. A lot of these things are still out there now, by the way.
Yeah. And I've actually been there. I actually rode so cool. With the boat. Rode in the actual pond there, and we went and saw the Hall of Mirrors. Think mirror. It's all there, guys. The Hall of Mirrors, a 73-meter gallery, features 357 mirrors. Very amazing time to be alive. The Grand and Queen's apartments are there. The gardens, 2,000 acres. The Trianon estate includes the Grand Trianon, Petit Trianon, the Queen's Hamlet. It's amazing, guys. If you ever get a chance to see it, go see it. It was an actual amazing trip. Shady Girl, back to our president. Wow. Versailles. That's where they wore the red shoes, too.
Yep.
Sure. And those people love our country, and hopefully Europe's going to find its way. Europe is having a lot of hard times. They're doing some things very badly on energy and on immigration. They're doing things very badly, and we'll be talking about that tonight. So with that all said, if you want to ask us any questions.
No, we're good.
Feel free to ask the people behind me, yeah?
All right.
Ready? Are you guys ready for Reed?
Oh, gosh. Here we go. This is like an obstacle course.
So let's see who the press is working for today. Are they working for our country, or are they working for some other country? Let's go check it out.
Are they a globalist, or are they pro-America?
Wow. Or even pro their own sovereignty of their own countries, right, Shady?
I would even play a harder game. Let's see if we can spot a pro-America question.
Okay.
I guarantee we can't find one.
Shiny Object Road at Versailles 2. That's awesome.
Oh, cool.
Here we go.
Nice.
Peter?
Bonjour. You've been clear, President Trump. The United States is not...
that's the French dip. If you order the French dip, you get Peter coming out going, bonjour, parlez-vous.
We should not mock him before he does something stupid.
All right. Here we go. Here we go.
Going to directly pay Iran, but the U.S. is going to let the Iranians start making billions of dollars, selling oil, accessing this reconstruction fund.
Only if they're doing things right. Only if...
Yeah, I mean, I understand that.
But he has to come out. That's the same talking point that Hannity was running, that Brett Baer was running last night, the same one that Laura was concerned about. Oh, Tucker Carlson, Buckley Carlson, who's very concerned about this. So is Megyn Kelly. All these people are concerned about the exact same thing that's fake news. And he hits it out of the park right off the bat.
Pretty crazy, man. Wow.
Retarded.
Yeah. Sofa, King, we, Todd, did.
Say that slower.
We're not putting up money. Only if they're doing things right. If they're doing things right, if people want to invest, they can invest. But they had this $300 million fund. It's only $300 billion fund. It's only if they're doing things right. Remember this also. When you talk about billions of dollars, they've had much more than $1 trillion worth of damage done. They got a long way. There'll be 15 to 20 years to rebuild what they have right now. So they have to behave themselves. If they're not behaving, they get hit again. You know, they'll be hit again because we can do it very easily. It's going to take a long way for them to build back their anti-aircraft stuff. It's going to take, and you know, the other thing I want to thank China, President Xi, I was with him, and he stayed neutral, totally neutral, and I appreciate it. And I want to thank Vladimir Putin. He was very neutral. They could have made it much more difficult for us. And I want to say it. You know, somebody would say, "Oh, that's terrible. He's thinking President Xi of China." Well, let me tell you, I had a long talk with him. You know, they have shoulder weapons to knock down airplanes. That it's not like the real deal, but they're accurate. They're fairly accurate. I said, I would really appreciate you're not giving or selling any of that stuff to Iran. And you know what? For the most part, he didn't. So I just want to thank them because they made it a lot better.
Can you explain, though, what the difference is between giving Iran U.S. dollars and unfreezing
What are you? Oh my
Well, the
God!
unfreezing, it's an easy one to answer. We have taken a lot of their money, and we have their money. We have taken their money. It's not our money. It's their money, and we froze it. At a certain point in time, I guess we're going to have to give it back. You know, if we didn't give it back, nobody would ever invest in the dollar again. If you took their money, because I thought about it, you know, I'm not the most perfect person. I said to Scott, why do we keep their money? What the hell are we giving it back to them? But, you know, people from lots of nations, some nations we don't agree with, they have their money. The dollar's become very strong under me. And they don't want to have a little conflict with somebody and end up having the United States just take their money. So if you do that, you really don't have a system.
I just want to ask you about this. A wise man once said in January of 2020, Iran never won a war, but never lost a negotiation. That wise man.
Who said that?
Donald Trump.
Oh, that's what I thought you were going to say.
So how do you go back to the United States and convince a skeptical
Look at this jerk, dude.
this deal
Well,
is a
look,
win?
here they lost militarily, okay? It's very
Look
tough.
at the way they can't understand reality, bro.
Context matters too. I mean, what was the context of that? You know,
the context was the reality that they had never suffered any consequences, Jeff.
Right.
The context of that they had their Navy, they had their Air Force, they had their radar systems. They were being artificially inflated by countries like China and Russia, acting like that they could protect themselves with their equipment from America. If I were Ducey, I'd be there asking a question like, "Oh, do you think that one day Iran could possibly get a refund from China and Russia for all the money that they spent with them trying to set up anti-aircraft munitions and all of this anti-aircraft infrastructure that didn't work at all? Maybe we should work with Iran to negotiate against Putin and against Xi to get them a little bit of rebate as they're on our side." Is that a bad ending, a bad outcome to all of this? Think about it. What's normalization look like? These people have an agenda and they all agree with each other.
and a lot of people don't understand that, you know, this is a proxy war with Russia. Do you think that Venezuela did business with Russia? Yes. Do you think that that Iran does business with Russia? Yes. That's why he eased the sanctions on Russia to allow. I mean, you guys don't understand the economics of this war. Okay, if you want to call it a war, it's an economic war, and that's what President Trump is playing. He's playing 5D chess. Do you think Cuba has interactions with Russia? Yes. Do you think this is all playing out? Yes. Just as Q outlined, Shady.
And Fox News has a mission. They have a mission to paint Donald Trump through the middle of America like he's doing something wrong. Yeah. Like he's a buffoon. This Ducey is a mouthpiece of Brett Baer.
Amen. Back to President, the one I elected, Donald J. Trump. 3 times.
I know that no matter what, if I would go, by the way, if I'd go another 3 or 4 weeks, those same people that are critical would say, he went too long, he should have done, no matter what. If they raised the white flag of surrender, and if they said, praise be to Allah, Donald Trump is the greatest president ever. We totally concede, we totally give up. This war is over, we have failed. The New York Times and CNN and a couple of others, they're not all that dishonest, they'd say, Iran had a great victory, okay?
That's what Ducey's saying now.
It's literally saying when we knocked out their last ship. They had 159 ships. When we knocked out the last ship, the Times refused to do a story on it. They said, why wouldn't you? They don't have a Navy, and you don't want to do a story on it. They don't have an Air Force. You don't want to do a story. We need a fair press. And that's why they're all doing so badly, because they lost credibility. When I win in a landslide, and I had 93...
And he's looking at you, Ducey.
Right at you.
Wow.
And you don't want to do a story on it. They don't have an Air Force. You don't want to do a story. We need a fair press. And that's why they're all doing so badly, because they lost credibility. When I win in a landslide, and I had 93% bad press, they take good stories about me and make them bad. But the only reason that happened is because they have so little, the media has so little credibility that The people voted for me. 93% of the stories on network, ABC is horrible. I think ABC is the worst. NBC is terrible. And CBS is terrible. CNN, obviously. And I never get good stories, no matter what I do. I could do the greatest thing. I won't get good stories on this. I'll get it from fair media. I'll get it from all over the world. They're writing good. But no matter what I do, I'm going to get bad press. I know that. Now, if I did the opposite, if I went out and continued to bomb them for another 4, just bomb the hell out of them, I'd get bad press on that. No, there's nothing I can do. But what this does is it allows the ships to go. If we keep bombing, those ships won't be going. And you're talking about $500, $600, $700 million a day. It's a lot of money. A lot of money. That's why the world is okay. It's liquid. It's fine. Also, we run out of reserves in about 4 weeks. You know, there are reserves all over the world, and we would really run out. And there'll be a time when you wouldn't be able to get it. And you want to see bedlam? So for all those so-called geniuses that want to show me how smart they are, ask them why didn't they blow up General Soleimani? Ask that of the general and a couple of other people that I like very much, but boy, are they wrong. Go ahead. How about you? Thank you, Peter. I'd give you more, Peter, but people will say I like you too much.
Thank you, Mr. President. Bonsoir, Mr.
You know, he told me that first day in office, he asked me like 7 questions. I answered all of them. Is this true? He said, he just answered more questions in one meeting than Joe Biden did in 4 years. Okay, you know, I'm not going to get you in trouble, but that's what you said. Go ahead.
Well, Mr. President, in The Art of the Deal, you write about the importance of leverage. Yeah. Obviously, you have a lot of leverage when it comes to Iran, whether
Tremendous
it's militarily or through economic sanctions. What leverage, sir, do you have when it comes to Israel and Hezbollah to ensure that they abide by the ceasefire?
Well, I think we have leverage just by the fact that we really have Iran now has to be good. They have to behave. And we might help. That's a much smaller conflict. It's a conflict that should be able to be over with. I'm surprised it's taken so long. And it's a much smaller, but we have a lot of leverage. We have the greatest military anywhere in the world. We have the strongest, most powerful. Look at the blockade. By the way, the blockade was more impactful than all of the bombing raids where we dropped $1 billion worth of bombs on Iran. The blockade was so incredible. The naval blockade, the admiral, the whole thing, not one ship got through. That meant no money got through. They were dying. They had no money. They have inflation that's 250 or 300%. They have no money. We have tremendous leverage. We have the leverage of the economy as an example. We'll get that done. That's a small one, and we'll work with Israel and get it done. But I'd like to do it. I mean, you have people living there. Buildings are being dropped on top of them or right alongside of them. How would you like to live there? It's so unfair, especially Beirut. You know, you go into Beirut, and I looked at the scene 2 days ago, yesterday, where they hit. That was a big hit. That was unnecessary in my book. Yeah, please.
2 questions. If you could clarify something you said just a few minutes ago. One of the goals of Epic Fury going into it, you said was...
Say it again. Speak up.
Sorry. One of the goals of Epic Fury, you said going into it, was to destroy Iran's ballistic missiles and its capabilities to build more.
Yeah.
Why is it acceptable to you now that they keep some of that capability? And Iran is...
What are they keeping?
How is it keeping any of that?
They have less than other nations now. We knocked out probably 85% of their missiles.
I'm not listening to numbnut media.
They can't even get them out. You know, the other night's raid, I think it was on the first night, we knocked out hundreds of their missiles. Actually, by mistake, we were hitting an area, and you can sort of see when the bombs are going off, and then you see one that looks like, wow, what happened? A lot of missiles knocked out. No, but what are you going to do? Let's spend another 2 weeks and give them none. They don't want to be firing missiles right now. They're going to have a hard time rebuilding. And the people from the Middle East, you know, if people want to invest, and again, they don't have to invest at all. But if they do want to invest, it does have oil. It does have probably a future, but it's going to take a long time. But are you going to let the 91 million people starve to death? I mean, one of the things I was very intent on, they have water desalination plants, very good ones. I could have knocked them out in 5 minutes, just like I knocked out Cargill, and I knocked out everything but the oil. I said, 25, it was so complete. The only thing there is the pipes coming with you because I didn't want to ruin the world market because they do a lot of money. But I didn't want to do that, no. It would have been so easy. It would have been easier, and I would have satisfied a group of 10% of the people, but it would have been the wrong thing to do. And it could have caused an international depression. Maybe not.
Iran's position has always been that their nuclear program was for civilian purposes. If they come back after the signing of this and say they want to continue to have a civilian nuclear program, is that acceptable to you?
Well, I've said to them always, I say, look, you have probably the third largest oil reserves in the world. What the hell do you need nuclear for? You need nuclear for some electricity? So I've always felt that way. So we've been pretty tough in that. You know, it is a little hard, though, when you say that somebody wants it, other people have it, other adjoining states have it, and you're not letting them have it for purposes of electricity and things like that. It's always a little tough. You have to use a little common sense, please. New York Times, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, for the question. Now that you're approaching a new phase in this conflict with Iran, can you now say whether you will hold anyone in your administration accountable for the strike on a school that killed more than 100 children on the first day of the war?
No, if it was a fault, and as you know, that's under investigation. It's such a strange question to be asked at this date, because you're talking about a long time ago, but nobody did that on purpose. I guess you'd have to say about them, what about the thousands of soldiers that they blew up when they opened their car door? What about the thousands of people that were killed by Iran? No, mistakes are made. The war is nasty. But I know it's under investigation, and I could have a report for you tomorrow. Or I would ask Pete Hegseth that question, because they have it under investigation. Please.
Mr. President, you've been saying all week that this deal permanently prevents Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, but the drafts of the deal that have been floating around barely mention Iran's nuclear program. So can you explain how exactly the deal achieves that goal?
So when I say permanently, it should be permanently. But if it's not permanently, we will bomb them. They will be bombed, just like I bombed them on Wednesday night and Tuesday night, and was going to bomb them on Thursday night at a level that was 3 times greater, and they knew that. I will bomb them. Now, that's with me as president. If you have a weak, pathetic president, maybe that doesn't happen, but I can only do the job that I have to do. I have a long time to go. I have almost 3 years, close to 3 years. Time is going fast. But our country's become we're the most respected country in the world. Those leaders today, they said, we used to laugh at you. 2 years ago, the same guys, they'd laugh at the country. And now they say, you're the most respected country anywhere in the world. Militarily, even military. Take a look at what happened look at what happened in so many different locations. Afghanistan, that horrible retreat that these people made, leaving equipment behind. They weren't under any pressure. You take your time. You can get out. I was going to get out. We were going to get out with dignity and pride, take 100% of the equipment. I was even taking the tents down. But then they got in and they just left. They left all the equipment. I may get all that equipment back. Now, here's the thing. More symbolic, because it's a little old now. But we may get it all back. Afghanistan is kissing our ass. You know that?
We might get Bagram back,
bomb
too.
Iran if they don't comply, but there's nothing enforceable in the deal itself. Is that correct?
Doesn't have to be. I let them know. I said, look, if you don't adhere to the agreement, I don't want to do that, but we're going to bomb the hell out of you. And I don't think that they're going to veer from the agreement. What else am I going to do? Am I going to say I'm going to take you to court? Let me take you to court. Let me sue you. No, we're going to bomb the hell out of them if they violate the agreement. I don't want them to. I want them to honor the agreement. Again, the straits close up. Bad things can happen. You know, in war, terrible things happen. Like you mentioned the question before about a school gets hit. Other things get hit. Bad things happen in war. War is a nasty place. I see it. I see it better than maybe anybody has ever seen it.
Of the agreement with the Israelis.
Go ahead, please.
Thank you, President Trump. Oil prices are now plummeting. How do you see this agreement further affecting energy prices in the U.S. and the U.S. economy in the long term? And secondly, Mr. President, how do you think Vice President J.D. Vance did on The View yesterday?
Well, first of all, thank you for the word plummeting, because that's what's happening. Oil prices are plummeting. And that means oil prices are going to come down. You know, if you make donuts, you have a heating, you have a stove, and you have to buy the heat, you need the gas or the electricity or whatever you're using. And when oil prices come down, oil is the biggest thing. Oil is, you get oil prices coming down, and they're going to come down, and we're hitting into threes now for gasoline, and that'll come down a lot lower. So I was in Iowa just before this started, and I was saying to myself, I can't believe we're doing so well, but I have to go, and we have to put out this fire in Iran, because I don't want them using a nuclear weapon. They would have used a nuclear weapon. 100% they would have used it. The only question is, was it going to be that day or that week? They would have used a nuclear weapon. They were on the way. And I said, we're going to have to put out the fire. And I said, you know, oil prices, so gasoline, we passed 2 gas stations in Iowa, made a speech up there. The people are great. I won it by so much. And I love the people, farmers. And we passed 2 gas stations. One was $1.85, one was $1.91. Now, that's Iowa, but it was, I mean, California has all those crazy taxes that they put on, you know, California taxes. But the oil was down to $2 to, I'd say, between $2 and $2.50. And it was heading down further. And we were going to have a great run. We took a little journey down to a place called the Islamic Republic of Iran, and we bombed the hell out of them, and now they can never have a nuclear weapon. Now, we had a disturbance, but I must say it was much less than anybody thought. The oil never went to $350 a barrel. It went to $115, $120. The oil never went anywhere near that. And the other thing, I thought the stock market would go down 25 or 30%. The stock market a week ago, before we started this, was higher than it was when we started, which tells you that we have a very resilient economy. We have the strongest economy we've ever had. Now, the word affordability is a fake word made up by the Democrats. Here's where it's fake, because they made it up, because I inherited these prices. And when I had my first news conference, first day, they started screaming affordability, the Democrats. Affordability, affordability, they're screaming. I say, what's that all about? They gave it to me. They gave it to me. It's affordability. And they use that word to a fare thee well. Well, they were the ones that created the affordability crisis. I'm the one that got it down. Remember, highest insurance rates in history, highest rates for everything. Eggs, remember eggs? They were 4 times more expensive than they were in my administration. And I got it down, Peter. Eggs! Our secretary did a good job of agriculture, Brooke. She did a great job with eggs and everything else. And now that the oil is coming down, you're going to see everything follow. Everything follows the cost of energy. And we're going to end up having the lowest energy anywhere in the world. Please. Yeah. No, please.
Thank you.
You're from ABC. You're fake news. Go ahead.
To follow up on oil, can you confirm, will Iran be able to immediately sell their oil to market? And will U.S. sanctions snap back immediately if there is a delay or collapse in the talks? And then relatedly, is there any safeguard in this deal to prevent Iran from charging what they say could be fees after the 60-day extension?
The thing that's going to stop them from doing that, because you can't cover everything in a document, is common sense. They don't want to get bombed. They don't want to get hit. As far as sanctions are concerned, at some point, you know, we have sanctions which will never let them rebuild. They would have no money. They would be in poverty. The 91 million people would starve. So something will happen as soon as they behave. When they behave, we're going to let that go. We're going to have to. I put sanctions on a lot of people, and then I let them go. A lot of countries. Yeah, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. My name is Shinji Abe. I'm a Japanese Yomiuri newspaper company from the Washington Correspondent. My question is about the Strait of Hormuz. Did you ask other G7 nations to send military force? And what specifically are you asking of Japan? Or
where are you from?
I'm from Japan.
From where?
Japan. And is military support?
I just left your prime minister. Japan's doing very well. She's my biggest fan, I have to tell you. She thinks I did a great job. You have to call her and ask her.
And,
she's doing a very good job, by the way. Go ahead.
And military support is no longer necessary.
Yeah, but what do you want to know? Go ahead, just tell me. What do you want to know?
Okay. My question is, did you ask other G7 nations to send military force? And what specifically are you asking of Japan?
To send the Air Force? For what? Oh, other countries, not just Japan. No, I don't need. We don't need it. Oh, by the way, they all want to do it. They all want to do it. Every single one of them. They want to go be a part of it now. Not while the war was going on. I was a little disappointed. The UK, I said, yeah, it would be nice if you sent ships. I didn't put a hard sell on, but I said it would be nice if you sent some ships. And the Prime Minister said, they'll be there, sir, as soon as the war is over. I said, did he just say that? I couldn't believe it, actually. Japan has offered to get involved, but I mean, I'll be honest, Japan was not willing to get involved during the war. I asked her, I said, you want to get involved a little bit? I didn't put the heavy sell on, but they said, no, we don't want to get involved. Nobody did. We did it ourselves with Israel and with the Arab states that got hit, surprisingly hit. Yeah.
Mr. President?
Yes, please. Go ahead.
Thanks a lot, Mr. President. Question on Brazil. I would like to know, how was your interaction here in Evian during the G7 with the Brazilian President Lula? Did you talk about the new U.S. tariffs on Brazil? Did you talk about the U.S. designation of criminal gangs as terrorists?
We did.
How was it?
I spent a lot of time with him, actually, and it's become a little rough country, right? Politically. It's been a little dangerous politically. You're talking about Brazil. Yeah. It's been nasty. I hear they arrested somebody that's running for office today. I found that out after we left. I just said goodbye to him, and I heard that they arrested the Bolsonaro Jr. He was doing well in the polls, and they arrested him because he made a statement in Texas. They arrested him, or they want to arrest him. They have something out for his arrest. No, they play pretty tough. But nobody plays tougher than the United States. Look, our elections are totally rigged. We have rigged elections. Please, in the back. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Thank you so much, President.
Thank you.
Sumu Sakamoto, the Asahi Shimbun. For G7, the concept of the rule.
I have a question real quick in regards to, I just looked this up. So why didn't she say, why didn't she talk about Brazilian police arrest 25 people in a crackdown on Venezuela's Tren de Agua? How come she didn't talk about the ICE arrest Brazilian national here in America with terrorist ties in Mooresville? However, Brazil convicts Jair Bolsonaro's son for pursuing the U.S.'s help in father's legal battle. Very interesting, isn't it, Shady?
I think that's very interesting because what's happening right there is you have a controlled state, much like Iran, and the dynamics are going to be very, very similar to Iran because these are puppet states controlled by your intelligence agencies, and the last thing they want is for somebody to come in there and do something like the gentleman from El Salvador, Bukele, I can't remember his name, but that guy that is actually making his country not only profitable, but prosperous and functional for the people of the country. That's the last thing that the CIA clowns that are controlling these governments want to happen.
That's right. Boom. Back to President Trump.
Rule of law has long been considered the core principle. During this summit, any of the leaders expressed any concerns on the possible violation of international law on the attack on Iran?
No, actually the opposite. They felt they were very dangerous. They were very relieved because they could get hit too. They were very relieved. No, we never discussed that. No, it'd be the opposite. They broke the law. They killed thousands of people. They killed thousands of our soldiers and hundreds of thousands of people. Yeah, please, go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Mr. President,
yes.
Yesterday, the Pakistan thanks for the Chinese government to help make a peace talk between Iran and the United States. So, what do you think about the China's work to get the United States and Iran sitting down to talk and make the deal? And the second question is...
Okay, let me answer the question.
Okay.
So I think China's been terrific. I told you that before. They could have been bad. They could have sent in to try and block or break the blockade. They could have sent in an oil ship with 6 destroyers alongside of it on each side. They didn't do that. President Xi helped me. He tried to help, and I think he probably helped get it solved. You know, they get 50% of their oil from that location. So that wasn't that easy. President Xi was fantastic. He tried to help me solve it. And he didn't give any big weaponry. I guess we'll find something somewhere along the line, but he didn't give any big weaponry, I can tell you that. No, I think China I couldn't ask for much more. Again, they were impacted because they get more than 50% of their oil from the Hormuz Strait. And no, I thought they were fantastic. Okay, how about one more question right here? Go ahead, please.
The latest YouGov Economist poll shows that Democrats have lost a 5-point edge on the generic congressional ballot. They just have now just a 2-point lead since February. Do you think that they're losing momentum?
Well, I see the Republicans in generics. You know, generics are very important. I don't know how accurate, because I see a lot of bad polls. The polls are very dishonest, just like a lot of reporters, like these people over here, are very dishonest. CNN, ABC, it's a whole group of them over there.
Peter Ducey.
Really dishonest people. But, you know, and really networks are very dishonest. And they have to straighten themselves out, or they're not going to be very successful, because people don't believe them anymore. But no, the generics are very interesting because the Republicans are coming up strong even before this. You know why? They're seeing all these lunatics, like the guy in Maine with the swastika. You know, for 10 years they've been calling me a Nazi. And now they have a Nazi running. He's got a tattoo on him. I've been denying it for 10 years. They know it's not so, but they've been calling. I don't think they can call it to me anymore. You know, one more. Go ahead, Peter. Let me finish with Peter, because he's been better to me than he's been to Biden.
Thank you, President Trump. I have a question about this weekend. Why not stick around for the signing ceremony with this Iran peace deal?
I might.
You might.
Yeah, I might, but I'd rather, this is a memorandum of understanding. It's very important, but it might not be the kind of a document that I should be signing.
Is there some element to this where you send the vice president, if it works out, great, you look like a genius for sending him. And if it doesn't work out, it's the vice president.
I like that idea, sure. What? This way, if it works out, I'm going to take the credit. If it doesn't work out, I'm blaming JD. You better be careful, JD. He's going to turn his plane around and get the hell out of here. Yeah, I like that idea. I think it's a good idea. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Basically, STFU, Ducey.
Wow.
I mean, he basically told Ducey to shut
your yapper.
Yeah. Wow. That's my president, Shady Groove.
My president. I wanted to bring some facts with Jeff. I know we're close to the end of the show, but I wanted to share some facts with our wonderful audience here, because, you know, everybody is all a tizzy about the gasoline prices. You know what I'm saying? Cole, here we got a little schematic. This goes back 5 years, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, look at here. Right about the time Donald Trump had won the election, look where the gas prices were. All the way down here. And then here you have the gas price spike, right? And that's what they're all talking about. But what they're not talking about is this graph right here. This is the 30-day gasoline graph right there, Jeff. And it's high of $2.88 right now, and falling is the national average. So just for all the people, I just wanted to show you guys that dynamic right there, because remember, whenever the gas prices were going up, the only thing they talk about is how Donald Trump is causing an affordability crisis. But whenever the gas prices go down, they never come out and say, Donald Trump is fixing the affordability crisis.
You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. And
even said that.
I mean, really. I mean, it's true. But, guys, it's another awesome day of winning. We didn't get to cover everything that we wanted to cover today. President Trump is applying pressure to the FISA bill, saying that I want the Save America Act passed with it. He's playing some 5D chess, Shady Groove.
That is this right here, this whole thing with FISA and the nomination of Clayton and the little tricks.
They're afraid of Pulte?
Yeah, the little tricks with Pulte, like, or that Thune is trying to work with Brett Baer and Paul Ryan and Fox News to undermine Donald Trump's agenda. And we will see who ends up with the tail at the end of all of it.
That's right, with their tail in their hand, Shady Groove. And we will be wrong until we're right.
Consistently.
As usual, right here on the MG Show. God bless you all. Thank you, Yeti. Thank you, Shady. Thank you, everybody, for your donations. We would not be here without you. But buckle up. See you tomorrow.
Buckle up.
Yeah, it's happening. Buckle up. Buckle up. The storm is here, no turning back. What Q said in the drops began the attack. Deep state falling, watch them pulling back. Bloodlines breaking, no more hiding in the black. Buckle up. Truth is crashing through the lies. Retribution coming, hear the thunder in the sky. They thought they owned it all, but the veil is torn. Q was right, the dawn is born. Buckle up. Back in the drops, the map was laid out clear. Strings being pulled by the ones we used to fear. Puppets in the press, puppets in the chair. Now the mask is slipping, everybody starting to stare. Election shadows, hidden hands in the game. Pandemic, profits, all part of the same. But the plan's unfolding, every move they made is blowing up in their face. Karma's got them paid. From the sealed indictments to the sudden exits, the ones who sold us out now facing their verdicts. No more whispers, the quiet is loud. The great awakening got the people proud. Buckle up, the storm is here, no turning back. What Q said in the drops began the attack. Deep state falling, watch them pulling back. Bloodlines breaking, no more hiding in the black. Buckle up, truth is crashing through the lies. Retribution coming, hear the thunder in the skies. They thought they owned it all, but the veil is torn. Q was right, the dawn is born. Buckle up. Follow the money, follow the trails. They tried to burn, now the trails are highways and the tables turned. Elites in the panic, private jets on standby, while the people waking up, seeing with new eyes. Hollywood hollow, their symbols on display. Cracking under pressure, can't hide away. Cabal connections from the banks to the throne, coming undone like a thread being pulled on. Every drop predicted this exact timeline. Now the world's watching, justice aligned. No mercy for traitors who sold out the nation. The reckoning's here, feel the vibration. They laughed, they mocked, called it all a dream. Now they're sweating bullets in the spotlight beam. You can't stop the signal, you can't kill the light. The people's rising up, taking back the fight. From the boardrooms to the halls of power, the fall is coming in this final hour. Buckle up, the storm is here, no turning back. What you said in the drops, it began the attack. Deep state falling, watch them pulling back. Bloodlines breaking, no more hiding in the black. Buckle up, truth is crashing through the lies. Retribution coming, hear the thunder in the sky. They thought they owned it all, but the veil is torn. Q was right, the dawn is born. Buckle up, buckle up, yeah, it's happening now. The storm is raging, take your stand somehow. Buckle up, retribution's on the way. The future's ours. Q was right today.
Yeah. Buckle up. www.mg.show. Boom.